Hey guys, Gareth here and welcome back to my channel, Student Loan Debt. This has become a much debated topic and something that's kind of become a bit controversial over recent years. It's no secret that university costs, especially in the US, have become super expensive. Student loans have been used by millions of people to earn a well-recognized qualification which will open doors for them, right? To land a good job, to have good earning potential, and to build a good future for themselves. I mean, how often do you see a job vacancy being advertised and it says it requires a bachelor's degree in commerce, or it requires an honors degree or a master's degree? So no doubt having those qualifications will probably open more doors for you than not having them. But the big question is it really worth it? Even though you're advancing your education and learning new skills, is it still worth it if you're taking on tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands in debt that's going to take you years to pay off? Or are you signing up to this crushing mountain of debt for life? I'm going to dive into all of this, so keep watching. So guys, not only will your qualification you get from university or college open many doors for you with traditional employment, you'll also be learning tons and tons of useful skills and information that help you be more effective in your work and to help you build up a network. And for those of you that have been following this channel for a while will know that I'm big on investing in yourself, on challenging yourself, on learning new skills and information. So I really like this aspect of a college or university degree, but at what cost? I mean, that's the big question here, right? At what point does it just not make sense anymore because it's so bloody expensive? And this is where the point of contention comes in, right? And where I myself, and I'm sure many of you, start to feel a bit conflicted about it. So it's about weighing up the benefits that college or university can bring versus the cost that it may take to get it in the first place. And I feel that this is a really difficult decision to make, especially if you're only 17 or 18 years old. On top of that, mapping out your life's profession at such a young age is really difficult. I'm sure that many of you can relate to this, because I remember when I was young trying to figure out what I should study, which profession I should go into, also which university to attend that's strong in that particular field was really overwhelming. Not everyone is clear on exactly what they want to do from a young age, right? Yes, you may have some friends that knew, I want to be a vet, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, but that's not everybody. So what I found really useful is to do those aptitude tests or personality tests, and this kind of just gives you an idea of which career paths may be a good fit for you, right? Based on your natural inclinations and interests. So for me, it said finance, surprise, surprise, but also pediatrician and engineering and actuarial sciences. So at least this helped me sort of narrow down that scope and zoom in on just a few professions. And in South Africa, you know, university cost is way less than what it is in the US. So in that sense, maybe it makes it a bit easier to change your path if you feel that what you're studying right now is not right for you. So you need to be really clear and convinced that this is what you really want to do. You know, because otherwise you're taking on all of this debt and maybe you don't end up using it because you end up switching into a different degree or a different career path. And this is still debt that you're going to have to pay back, right? You signed a contract, you signed this loan obligation, and in this case, you might not be getting much of a return on your investment. How much student loan debt is out there anyway? Let's talk about the $1.7 trillion elephant in the room. Okay, that's a big number, but just how big is it? Well, with that money, you can buy 6.7 million homes in America at the average house price of $285,000. Or, put a different way, you can buy 80% of all the residential real estate in the entire state of Texas. So you can almost buy the whole state. And not only is it big, but it's growing really fast too. Student loan debts are growing way above the rate of inflation and also much higher than what incomes are growing. So clearly, this is a bit of a problem and it's not sustainable. This affects over 45 million Americans with an average balance outstanding of over $37,000 for student loan debts. And that's just the amount that's outstanding right now, you know, so that balance was probably much higher when they finish their degree. Oh, but don't worry, all the student loan debt is guaranteed by the government anyway, right? So don't worry about it. If you can't pay it, they will. Well, not quite, because 1 in 5 people have been late or missed payments on their student loan debt. And guys, please be careful of this, because this can affect your credit score, right? And this can really hold you back from actually building your wealth, from actually getting a home loan and buying a home or getting a credit card. So please be careful of this one. And remember guys, a university or college degree is not going to teach you about building wealth and personal finances. But don't worry, that's where I come in. All you need to do is hit the like and subscribe buttons. It's free, so there's no student loan debts to worry about. It's a pretty good deal. One of the ways to look if it's all worth it, and one that kind of makes sense to me, is to be a bit more analytical and see what is my return on investment. I would look at the overall return, right? So like the career prospects and the earning potential, and also the intangible things like the fulfillment and enjoyment from doing your job, because 85% of people are not happy in their job. And some ways to get answers to some of these questions of the potential benefits is to do research online, or maybe connect with people and speak with people working in those industries. You can also do internships and job shadowing. Many high schools have a career counselor these days, and many universities have a career center with tons of resources and information that can help sort of inform your decision. So once you're clear on the returns and the potential benefits of the career, now you can consider the costs to see if it's all worth it. So take a situation where you're studying medicine or tech or finance, right? Chances are you probably have a possibility to earn a fairly good income, so in that sense maybe it is worth it. But now contrast that where you study something else with a similar cost, right, but with limited career prospects and lower earning potential. In that case it might not be worth it, right? So logic kind of has to prevail. So again, this is why I say that it is super important to be very clear on what you really want to do before you take on these financial commitments in student loan debt. So is it always so expensive to study? Well, here's where some good news comes in, because not necessarily. In recent years, there have been more and more people focusing on more cost-effective ways to get a degree. And here, one of the big things, one of the big changes has been a move to online. And this has probably been accelerated quite a lot now with all the lockdowns we're seeing due to the pandemic. But with online solutions, you can generally see 50, 60 or even 70% discounts from the normal course in order to get the same qualification. Yes, you might not have the same possibilities to network with people on campus, but you're going to get the same degree or qualification at a fraction of the price. And you know, these days everything is happening online. The technology is really advanced and makes it easy. So if you're able to work effectively online, then probably you'll also be able to study effectively online. Also guys, not every country is the same. You know, it's not always so expensive to go to university. If you look at Germany, for example, it's almost for free in most cases when you want to go to college or university. You only have to pay like an admin semester fee of 300 to 400 euros. And that's 300 euros, not 300,000 euros. So there are some cost-effective options in many countries. You can also reduce the amount of student loan debt that you take on by applying for scholarships and bursaries to help fund your studies. So what now? Well, many people may be feeling hopeful because in the US, President Joe Biden is planning to waive a huge amount of student loan debts. Right now, he's planning to waive around $10,000 per person in student loan debts. Will it work, or will it just be a matter of time before we're back in the same position with a large debt balance that needs to be waived again and again and again? But that's a whole nother video. I would rather be looking at why is it so expensive in the first place. But either way, it just doesn't seem right that somebody who's young, just finished college or university and starting their career is saddled with all of this debt that's going to take them years and years to pay off. And yes, it's true that maybe this debt opened the opportunity for them in the first place to attend college or university. Maybe they wouldn't have had the possibility if it wasn't for access to the student loan debt. I get it. But let's dig one level deeper and ask the question, why is it so expensive in the first place? How is it that college and university fees have increased by so much? This is where I think the focus should be. This is the question that we need to be asking, right? And this maybe necessitates some educational reform to take place. But you need to address the source, which is why it's so expensive, as opposed to the symptom, which is a student loan debt. Now, I know there are probably some entrepreneurs watching this video right now, shaking their heads and saying, why don't you just skip all of that? Skip the student loan debts. There are so many examples of people that didn't finish college, didn't finish university, or didn't even finish high school, yet became massively successful. People like Gary Vee and Tony Robbins, maybe Richard Branson from the Virgin Group, right? Or Michael Dell from Dell Computers. Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, both of them dropped out of Harvard to build Facebook and Microsoft. And I would agree, you know, a degree doesn't define you. And these people have still been amazingly successful, and it's a real inspiration. And to me, ultimately, it's about value. How much value do you bring? How much value do you bring to your customers, to your clients, to your boss, to your colleagues? The more value you bring, the more likely you are to be successful. And a degree is not the only way to do that. You don't have to have a degree to bring massive amounts of value. But the entrepreneurship path is not for everybody. And that's okay, because there is so much uncertainty and so much risk. There isn't a paycheck at the end of the month, right? Nothing is guaranteed and everything is uncertain. But at the same time, there's also way more upside potential, because you're not confined to a 2% or 3% increase a year or anything like that. The sky's the limit. But I just want you guys to know that not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur, and that's fine. Now, I know that many of you guys would have been talking about student loan debts with friends and family. What do you think? Do you think it's worth it? Maybe you have student loan debt. Has it held you back? Has it been a problem? Or do you still think it was worth incurring that debt? I'd love to know, so let me know down in the comment section below. So that's it for the video today, guys. I hope you found it interesting and helpful. And if you did, please do me a favor and just give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And share this video with friends and family that you think may enjoy it too. You can also follow me on Instagram. Here is my handle. And I'll see you next time.